And in Australia, in that situation, here you are, thank you. Then in Japan, it goes backwards and backwards and forward, and eventually they take it. And it's just like what happened here with Jacob and Esau. I read this every time, and I think, man, that's Japan all over. And then I read Genesis 33 the same again with you. Let me tell you about something else we have in Japan. The Shinto shrine faces east, and it has only one entrance. There's a courtyard around the outside with a gate facing east. With one entrance, you come in the one entrance. In the back portion of the yard is the actual shrine. Just like the temple, the tabernacle in the scriptures. In the courtyard, in the tabernacle, we have an altar, and then we have a laver. The Shinto shrine has taken the laver and put it outside. So you wash your hands and your face first, and then you come in. There's no altar, and then you come to the building. The building has a 2/3 section and a 1/3 section. And at the back of the 1/3 section is the altar, the deity, where the deity is kept. Now, why don't they have an altar? And why is the laver outside? Because the devil, when he takes the things of God and he uses them for himself, he twists them. He doesn't need an altar because he wants a bloodless gospel. He knows that the Lamb of God is the sacrifice that we need, so if there's no altar there, then there's no chance of people finding the Lamb of God. The water's outside, the laver's outside, and that's a religion of works. I wash my own hands. I purify myself on the way in. And then I come in and I worship at the altar. The pattern is taken from scriptures. It's just been modified slightly to suit the devil's religion. And then they have what's called a mikoshi. And that is a little portable shrine with 2 poles at either end, carried on the shoulders of men. Ever seen one of those in the scriptures before? And so we see these leftovers of a biblical knowledge in the Japanese culture. And the language. If I had a whiteboard, we'd be here all night. We'd go beyond 6 o'clock, so good thing we don't. But the letters, the Chinese letters that we write there, if you break them down into their elements, they contain the entire Genesis creation account, chapters 1 to 11. You can find it all concealed in the characters. The word for God, kami, has 2 components. The left-hand component is the character to reveal something. The right-hand component is the character to speak. God spake, let there be light, and the light appeared. The Japanese concept of God is revelation and speaking are combined into one. Isn't that amazing? That's exactly what my Bible tells me. The character for the origin has 2 people. You don't say any more. The character for completion has 2 people with a roof over the top. Somebody asked me about the character for boat this afternoon. There's 2 characters for boat. There's a small boat and there's a large boat. The large boat has a small boat on the left, and then it has 8 people, or 8 nouns, which represents 8 people. Noah had 3 sons, and they each had 3 wives. That gives me 8 nouns. Why on earth would a big boat have only 8 people in it? But for some reason, the person who created the character for a boat, their concept of a big boat was one with 8 people. Romans tells us that pagan people were not always pagan. And God, they knew him, but they rejected him. But if we look hard, there should be some thing in their language, in their culture, in their life that ties back as being a gospel witness, as being a biblical witness. And we just, when I use this in Japan, I don't use it for evangelism because the hearts are so hard that it generally doesn't open any hearts. But when I have a new believer and their hearts are open and their eyes are open, and you share these things with them, it really encourages them. When the Spirit of God works, my heart's stirred to reach them. I proclaim Christ, and the Spirit of God changes their heart. And then I'm convinced that those people really do want to see Jesus. The Jews, 13 million plus, God's chosen people. They need to see Jesus. 30 plus countries with no gospel witness, and many other people groups as well. They need to see Jesus. Peoples, nations, our neighbours, partially evangelized, but the job not finished. They need to see Jesus. We have Jesus, and if we will show them, they will see, and some will be converted. Paul said, I was made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. They won't all be converted. Man has a free will. But that's okay. My job is to tell them. My job is to show them Jesus. Your job is to show them Jesus. And this week, as we've enjoyed seeing Christ so beautifully pictured in the Old Testament, as we've been challenged to live by faith, may we also have our hearts and our eyes open to the many, many, many lost souls who are also